2. This is going to go bad. 3, 2. Yeah, I don't know about that.
I expected more from our last pod before Christmas.
Cheers. Welcome in.
Cheers.
No puns allowed. This episode, we've done 2 now, is the one that typically goes off the rails. Or was it? Is it the post-Christmas or anything around the holidays is
really goes
subject
off the rails.
to?
I'm not drinking on this episode. Although I was watching back like some of our old ones for something, and
that's good.
We were talking, and it was like you're really selective with the episodes you drink on, but when you do drink on the episodes, they're the good ones.
No, it's true. Yeah, when you commit. You commit. All right, since we don't have actual picks and pints, I could just do the beer reveal now.
Yeah.
Like our picks and pints are us just picking all the bowl games. Mm-hmm. This is a good one. The Great Lakes Christmas Ale, which is
okay.
This is a thick. This is a doozy of a beer. Like this beer is, you do a few too many of these, and it's a trouble beer. Like it's.
What percentage is it?
I think it's 10. I was looking at that before. I had a couple over the weekend. And I was like, yep, that's good. Like, I shouldn't do more of these. Oh no, it's only 7.5. So, but it has like a nice, like celebration for holiday brews is like smooth. Like this one is like, no, this is a good kick. So cheers to that. It is an afternoon episode, and It is
an afternoon episode, so I won't be drinking. But I did dress up for the occasion. I'm like ready. I'm in full Christmas mode. I'm fully ready.
I'm in municipal gear, which is holiday seasonal.
Yes.
If you haven't done your shopping, go. There's still time. Municipal.com. No punch 20. I almost said no punch 420. It's not really for some reason, like as I was processing this. No, it's not really me. I've got my vices. Don't judge. But this is my vice, for better or worse. So no punch 20.
Another thing that I do want everyone to do, because somebody already did it, is if you follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, send me screenshots of all of those in my Twitter DMs, and we will pick a winner to send municipal gear to. But the cutoff is going to be like Christmas Eve. You have until Christmas Eve to do it.
Paige is inviting you to get in the DMs.
No, I'm inviting you to follow us on all of their social media. Screenshots of... So
God damn it, yes, yeah.
All right, we should move along into football.
Dangerous game. I promise I have not had yet most of this.
But to be fair, you did just get off the Peloton. You probably should have hydrated better before.
I did not hydrate. I ate a peanut butter sandwich with my children, and now I'm drinking a Christmas beer with you, just like a mature adult thing to do. I have one thing I have to talk about, which is the Santa Claus.
Yes.
Usually
we do have to talk about this.
Usually we save this for the end, but like for people, I got so much feedback. Friends, strangers, people of the internet were like, did you watch the Santa Claus?
Yeah.
And what'd you think? My kids loved it, Paige. They did not question Santa Claus's demise. The part that movie walks though is the believing in Santa. There's some lines there that are a little like. There's like, they really walk the tightrope of like Santa's reality, which was like Santa's a little bit scary. Yes, they do that well. But I was like looking over at Caitlin, like, do we pause? Do we fast forward? Yeah, no, nobody asked questions. They loved it. I want to watch it again.
I think it's the genuine joy of just all the things, because there's a lot of stuff they gloss over in it, and that's why I told you should watch the Santa Clauses, which is the series on Disney Plus after, because it goes over the like stuff that they kind of had loopholes in the films. So
that's actually on deck. We're going to be doing that this week.
Okay. It's really good. And I will go back and make sure, I will confirm with my family, because we watched it together, that there is no like fine line of like conversation that maybe we don't want to have yet and we're still too young. I just want to make sure. I don't want to ruin the spirit of Christmas. But I'm glad that they didn't. Because I honestly, no kid remembers that, because you go straight to the North Pole and it's like you forget all about the fact that Santa fell off a roof.
Yeah, and they do it like very well. He just
falls
off, and then he just like he gives the thumbs up, and then he's out.
Yeah, and he disappears. So it's like very magical. It's not like traumatizing.
No, so we enjoyed that very much.
Yes, so I'm glad you didn't deprive your children any longer.
I also at the end of this episode, I've got some snow and shit weather tips because I think a lot of people around the country, not you, are going to get hit with this, and I've got some thoughts on how to handle.
First of all, the high yesterday was 41 degrees where I live. Okay, let me tell you, that is not normal. It is not usually that cold. And I know people are rolling their eyes listening to this who live in the Midwest and back east, but we're not used to it being that low on a regular basis. But I did actually see a bunch of tweets about people really enjoying our educational lessons on weather here. So as much as we love talking about football, we love to interject life lessons. So we appreciate your support on that front.
The high on Friday here, by the way, is 4. Is the high.
Oh my Lord.
That's 4. But yes, let's talk football.
Let's talk football.
We have bowl games to just get into, but like the next batch of bowl games, which I think are starting like literally right now, I got to get a bet in. We're going to do that momentarily. But let's talk first round of bowl games.
Yes.
I got to look at how we did.
We actually did pretty well. I started going through some of them.
Yeah.
I think we did pretty well. I do think we need to be a little more precise with the people and let them know what we're actually committing to. Although I did it again. I did not look so that we can play the guess that spread game because it's actually really fun. And we're getting into teams that like we know better. Very happy for Oregon State. That was one of the biggest takeaways.
Let's go are Beavs. Doing very well.
Yeah,
on
our Beavs.
Yeah, that was our Beavs.
That was amazing. That just made me so happy.
The Florida's field goal, one of the saddest sack of shit field goals I've ever seen.
They were in jeopardy of like I think they held like the longest bowl record of like scoring in a bowl game, and it was like really, 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 really long time ago, and they were like in jeopardy of not scoring. Who
gives
in that
a
game.
Shit about that? I
did
have
people
Florida
come out of the
woodwork.
woodworks.
I know. They're like, that field goal meant more than you could know. It's like, oh my God, sir. Sir, like, recalibrate where you are. I also, that Billy Napier thing, I don't know if that's going to work out.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to work out.
Being a coach in the SEC just seems like not a fun deal.
Mm-mm.
Like, it's not going to, like, there are so many, like, that conference specifically really just gets rid of coaches no matter what. Everybody else has patience. But another big takeaway was Frank Gore Jr.
Holy shit.
First of all, not only setting just all kinds of records, but telling his auntie to chill in the interview made me laugh so hard because it was like the most respectful, like, auntie, chill. Like, it was so funny and it went viral. And like, that was pretty much the biggest takeaway from people knowing that, not that he broke all kinds of records.
Well, also, he's staying. That's kind of a big deal, too.
Yeah.
Right? Or at least he announced he was staying.
Yeah.
And like the age of NIL, like that seems like a big deal to me because he could go to probably pretty much any school he wants.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I thought that part was really cool also.
Yeah. So I do actually kind of have something we should talk about.
Oh, no. What? Why are you saying it so...
Because I realized that there's this conversation of like, Alabama fans are really excited that their players are playing in their bowl game and it's not a playoff game. And it's like, oh, yes, our guys are doing it. I gotta tell you, like, that doesn't, like, that's great that they want to play in the bowl games. But, like, that doesn't make them better or worse than other guys choosing not to.
No.
In my opinion.
No, it's a really interesting thing. And it's hard to, like, compartmentalize the feelings toward this. Because I do think it's really cool that Bryce Young and Will Anderson are playing.
Totally.
I think it's really cool. I don't think it's bad. I don't think that I wouldn't feel mad if they didn't.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know. And how much are they going to play? That's the other thing I'm curious, right? Like, are they going to treat this like, are they full go? Like, we've seen this in some bowl games too, by the way, where they'll suit up, they'll prepare, and then it's like, they're out after a series.
I would hope that that's not
like that.
I would hope that's not the case because of all the talk of like, our guys are better than everybody else because they're willing to suit up. And it's like, I understand having pride. I totally understand that. Like, and it's cool to do that. But I think like making it such a big deal that like other players aren't. Like, I think that's just not fair. Like, you just don't know everyone's personal situation. And, like, I understand as a collective group, they decided, like, hey, we're doing it together, which is great. But, yeah.
I think it's awesome. It makes me nervous. Actually.
Well, yeah.
Like, it makes me super nervous. Like, but I think it's really cool. Will Anderson is that dude, by the way. I mean, we did the story on him. Like, this doesn't shock me at all. At all. In talking to him or his family, they're like, no, he wants to play. Like,
exactly. Well, I also think it's so funny. Dude. I also think it's very funny that, like, we're having this conversation when, like, the conversation before was like, oh, will Anderson sit out of a season because, he could be the number 1 overall pick and maybe could get hurt. Maybe we just have him sit out for a season. And it was like the fact that, like, yeah, that's just laughable to me that people even thought that would have been a thing. But I just find it strange that, like, we're so stuck on, players playing. And then there's also the conversation of the transfer portal now and character of, like, are people going to be challenged? I just think it's not so black and white, and you can't judge. There are kids that are going to do it for money. There are kids that are doing it for a better situation. Like, there's going to be kids that end up staying and some kids that end up leaving. But, like, I don't, like, everyone is, it's on an individual basis. I feel like these blanket statements of judgments of, like, this is terrible and the people who choose to do this are terrible and need to stop.
I agree. No, it's conflicting though, because it's like, oh, this is awesome. We get to see these guys one more time. And yet you have a kid like Bijan Robinson who's like, I'm opting out.
Yeah.
I'm going to the draft, but I'm going to be connected to the program for life and I want to help out, which is amazing.
Exactly.
And, like, it doesn't, and Bijan, who we could talk about briefly, is like, there's no bad way to do it. It is just unique to see potentially the number 1 and number 2 overall picks playing in a game like this. And I do wonder, by the way, there has to be some insurance protection on this.
Yeah.
Nick Saban kind of alluded to it, that they did what they needed to make them comfortable. I don't know the exact quote,
I'm curious if it's through Aflac,
Well, just get the goat. Look, a goat.
Like, he's wearing his blue jacket.
Yeah,
and
look,
I mean,
a goat.
It's great, but I just think it's so funny to me that, like, and again, I love Alabama fans, but I think it's so interesting that, like, it's this narrative and then coaches being like, and even commenters and people just saying like, oh, I can't believe kids are transferring. It's like, you don't know a kid's situation. You don't know what he's dealing with. And like, oh, will kids ever go through adversity and learn how to work through adversity? Transferring is not like an easy money decision. Like, yeah, you could make money there, but you could also not play. You could also get told something and it can be a completely different thing. It's not like the easy road to transfer, in my opinion.
You know what's funny? Well, real quick on Bijan Robinson, I don't have much to say other than when I saw him play as a senior, I said, this is the best high school football player I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. Like, it was crazy. And he's leaving like this pristine legacy. So Texas isn't fully back, right? I hate to even say that, but Texas is on its way, I think, to being really, really good again. I just, like, that dude from start to finish was like pure entertainment. Like I can't recall, not to turn this into a draft pod, like, if you want to fix your offense, like, I would start with him. Yeah. And I'm really curious, because at the college level, that is so valuable. I'm really curious what the NFL thinks of someone like this, who's physically incredible, who catches the ball. Like, in today's football, this is like the guy. Like, this is like what you need, and yet there's such a devaluing of the position. We'll have so much time to talk about the draft. Yeah. But I'm like, this is like the safest thing you could do, is just take a Bijan Robinson. Like, I'm trying to think of like the perfect team, like a team that's competitive, right? That is like put him on like the Dolphins, and it's like, just imagine that. You know what I mean? Like a guy that's just gonna be, oh my god, this dude is gonna be incredible. I just want somewhere awesome for Bijan. Like, you heard? That's all. I want Bijan to go somewhere where he's gonna be great.
Hey, I agree. Friend of the pod. Another Love guy who's a friend of the pod, who is staying, is Bo Nix. Your thoughts?
I got a lot of tags on this. I'm very excited about our guy Bo. I think it's a smart call. Mm-hmm. I think he played fucking awesome last year. Like outside of that Georgia game, like, what a 180, right? Like, it was like, oh, Bo Nix doing Bo Nix stuff. And then outside of a couple of like rough moments, like was great. So he's going to have to do it with a new OC. And there's an interesting tie into this decision, by the way. I think that Bo Nix is going to be one of the top 4 preseason Heisman odds quarterbacks or players, honestly. So I think if you're an Oregon fan, you got to be thrilled.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be excited about it, but I don't know that it is as big of a game changer in terms of team aspect, because I think we saw how things go in the Pac-12, but
oh boy.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I told you.
Well, the other part of this story that I found fascinating, though, again, not a draft podcast, not a recruiting podcast, but Dante Moore, who I think ESPN has, one of the outlets has him as the number 1 player in the class, like above Arch Manning, right?
Okay.
So he's number 3 in ESPN, flipped from to UCLA from Oregon. So it was a really weird couple of days. It was Bo Nix coming back, Moore going to UCLA. Now, this is interesting on a few fronts. A, I'm curious what the NIL situation is behind the scenes, because I don't think this is just a Bo Nix thing. Mm-hmm. And B, Chip Kelly is kind of having this second act of his career that's pretty interesting. Like, Chip Kelly has not recruited a player like this at UCLA.
Yeah.
And the people that I've talked to, the people that do watch recruiting, like, love this kid. I think he won, like, back-to-back state championships. Like, is a potential to step in and be like Chip Kelly's like go-to. So I on the Oregon side, it kind of sucks, but yeah, you get a year of Bo Nix. On the UCLA side, and I know in reading the Pete Thamel's column, he said the move to the Big Ten had an impact on his decision.
Yeah, of course.
Which I think is cool. Like, it's kind of different, but like it just shows we're entering this really odd state of recruiting in general, where signing day is tomorrow, right?
Yep.
Like, I have no idea who's doing well in signing. I have no idea.
I think we alluded to this sort of last week. There's a little bit of a situation where, you know, people don't know what they're getting in the transfer portal, so they're not really sure what they need from this incoming class, which is like kind of scary. But yeah, I'm hoping that this starts to balance itself out. I know we've been saying that a lot, but I feel like it's really reaching ahead where like the chaos is like very, very all over the place. Like, it's hard to keep track of who's transferring where and what's happening. And like, it's all fine. I know it's part of what like the sport's evolving into, but I just hope there's like some way to make it more manageable and easier to cover, really. And even for like, I'm sure coaching staffs.
I was talking to a friend of mine who likes college football but doesn't love it. Mm-hmm. And he'll listen to the pod, and he's like, it's getting a bit much. Like, he's like, I like that kids can transfer. It's kind of fun. It's all like really hard to follow and kind of a bit overwhelming. And he described it as not positive. It's like, it's like a negative. He's like, it's just like, I don't have the bandwidth to like know who's where. And like, it's just, and it was an interesting, I have no counter to that other than get used to it, because it's just the way it is until there's regulation. I think a lot of people that are like just like college football but aren't immersed in it daily probably feel the same way.
I mean, I even feel that way being fully immersed in it. Like, it's a lot to have to take in and a lot to have to pay attention to. And it's not just like, normally this time is usually pretty mellow for us. And then we added the early signing day, and then it became a thing. Then it became like, okay, a COVID year, and you get, you know, transfer rules change and people get extra eligibility. Then you add NIL into it, and then you add expansion, realignment. It just is a lot all at once. It's really hard to keep track of. But I've noticed that, like, I was having this conversation, like, sports in general, the last, like, probably 3 to 5 years have really shifted away from the original things that we knew. Like, the NFL added a game, like different playoff scenarios for the MLB.
Yeah.
The NBA's explored having like a mid-season tournament. Like, there's a lot of stuff that is forcing these leagues to change because of how much people want to consume of this content. And I find it so fascinating how like leagues that have stayed the same for years are now starting to do things a little differently and try to find ways to change things. And
it's all driven by money, by the way.
Exactly.
It's all driven by greed.
It's a business. And that's the part,
is.
though, that I think it was like so stagnant for so long that like all of this changes kind of a lot. Like college football, it's changed drastically in even a year. And like we started having that chaos a little bit last year. And then this year it just has been full throttle, complete and utter chaos. And it is hard to follow. I think, you know, as someone who tries to help people follow the sport, and it's my job to come up with content that helps them understand what's going on in the sport, it's still even hard to get all of it done in a week because it's just so fast moving. But I think at some point it will just become the norm and this will sort of settle down. And also I think right now everyone wants to have like a big reaction or a big take to this. Kind of like what we were talking about earlier. Everyone wants to condemn those kids that are like, oh, we're leaving and going to another school or transferring, or kids that are making NIL money and they're like, oh, they're only doing it for the NIL. They're not doing it for the pride and the love of the game. There's like all these critiques of kids and their decisions that they're making, but like this is going to become the norm. We're going to get used to this. It's just change is not fun for anybody and nobody likes change when it first starts. And I think we're in a bit of a rough patch, I think, in terms of college football, because I do think people are getting annoyed with how much it is changing, and they're not annoyed but more frustrated because it's just kind of a lot. And you think, oh no, the game that I love and the sport that I love is going away. No. But it's not. It's not. It is still at its core. Also, what college football has over really anyone is the pageantry. So like if you really love the game, like the game of football develops and changes all the time. That's just the nature of football. And so you can't sit there and say that like, oh, this is the reason why football is changing on the field. So if you like the on the field stuff and you like the pageantry, that stuff at the core is staying the same. The business aspect of it is certainly expanding, but there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm sorry, I was trying to get a bet in. Do you see how I'm not paying attention? You're exactly right, but the game just went off, Paige. Do you want to get a bet? Oh, you can't. What do you want to bet?
I'm good.
Come on.
No betting needed. Nope, we got to go over our picks and pints. We don't have a lot of time.
Just San Jose State versus Eastern, we bet. I'm betting the over. Hold on. All right. Oh, shit. Now it's off the board. God damn it. Fine. Let's go. All right. Okay. We ended. Oh, wait. One more. Devin Leary. Kentucky. Kentucky's trying to overhaul their offense. This is a big deal for Kentucky. That dude, when he's healthy, is good. I'm curious what version of him we get because he was pretty banged up, like really banged up. Like what an odd year for him. But Kentucky going back, new OC. Obviously, I mean, he's following the Levis blueprint. I don't know. People are tired of talking about him because they're like, oh, he sucks. Like he's going to be a top 10 draft pick.
Yeah.
Like it's going to happen and people are going to be mad about it. Whatever. So but that's a big deal. If you're talking about transfer portal dominoes, that's a big deal. Can I ask one more transfer portal question? Because I'm having a really hard time. Where do you think DJ goes? I thought it would be UCLA. He's not going to UCLA. Where do you think he goes? Like he's a West Coast kid. I'm really curious about him. I don't have like a good spot in my mind yet for DJ.
Because you also thought the other option could be Oregon.
But no, yeah, you're exactly right. So
it pains me. It was just gonna say Arizona State.
I know, like that's kind of where I was too.
Yikes!
What about Alabama?
I think it would be very beneficial, and if they want him, did they recruit him originally?
Well, wasn't that the Bryce Young class? I think everybody recruited him originally. I don't know, but I'm very curious to see what happens there. So sorry, not to hijack, but let's get into Bulls. I didn't bet the Bull game, by the way.
Okay.
I'm going to be responsible.
I'm sorry.
And I'm going to live bet it here shortly. All right, so we left off at our last game was the Nollins Bowl, Western Kentucky versus South Alabama. Okay, that is where we left off. So I have thoughts about this next game. I also have a weather report. The Armed Forces Bowl versus Baylor and Air Force.
Yes.
I didn't say the point spread. I'm trying to be a normal human, although I did already drink this beer, and that's a little alarming.
It is. I'm just kidding.
It's like, well, no, it's like post Peloton. I'm like, oh, I'm refreshed. I'm now good.
Okay. Baylor is favored in this, correct?
Yes.
Is it a big spread?
No.
Okay, so is it 7?
Come down a little bit. It's below 7. The last time I saw it, it was 5.5, and it's come down from that.
Okay. What is it at now?
4. Now, the other thing that I've seen on this game is the total has come down a lot because they are supposed to have, this game is on Thursday, correct? So they are supposed to have 40-mile-an-hour winds. And so the total has really come down. Now, I don't know about you, but I actually really like Air Force in this game. If you have a wind-aided game, like Air Force's rushing numbers are like insane compared to everybody else. Like,
are you just trying to go non-chalky like we did last week?
No,
I'm kidding. Well, I understand the logic there.
It worked. It worked for us. I actually, because I'm going to get chalky again, I think, sadly. I've got some totals in here too. Yeah. But I kind of like Air Force in here. I don't know if you have a strong feeling one way or another.
No, I'll go with you on Air Force. That logic makes sense to me in terms of weather.
I love playing the weather angle, by the way. No one plays a weather angle like me. It's like, you know, like when you say that, and it's like people are like, this guy sounds like he's really smart because he's gone into his weather.com app. Like, wow, this is a real sharp better. No, I just love the weather in general, buddy. I'm there constantly looking at what the hell's going on. It ain't that. Okay.
Yes, let's get into... So we're taking Air Force, to be clear. Air Force plus 4?
Yes.
Okay. We gotta make sure we give the people the actual
So
locks
wait a second. Hold on. People, I thought we were definitive last week. Were we getting shit that we weren't making our picks definitively?
I just think I listened back to it and I thought we could have been a little more decisive.
So you're okay, because I was ready to go in at a listener. It's you.
No.
You're saying we
didn't. No, it's me critiquing, so.
Fair enough.
Because one of us has to listen to the podcast, you know?
Ooh.
Anyway.
Harsh but fair.
Harsh but true.
Yeah, it is.
Friday, December 23rd, we have the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. By the way, we have to say the full names of the bowls as well. It's my critique.
Yes. Jesus, it's just this pod does nothing well. Yes, Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl.
Louisiana versus Houston.
Okay, before you guess a line, this game last year would have been awesome. These teams won, I think, each like 12 to 13 games in a row last year. Like Houston, was supposed to be the it team this year.
Yeah.
Because of that. Not the case this year. So, okay, so point spread wise, yep, it's still at the same number it was a couple of days ago.
Is Houston favored?
Yes.
By 3?
7.
Whoa.
I know.
I'll
say this. I still do like Houston, but there's a lot of people that I respect that like the dog here, which is a little scary.
I like the dog here.
Oh, no. You know, I can go on the dog. I don't know if I pick this in locks, just know. Let me just make sure I didn't pick it in locks. I think I did.
Okay, if you did, then you can take Houston and I will take Louisiana.
No, I don't think I did. We're good.
Okay.
Louisiana.
Shreveport.
Yeah, this game.
Louisiana.
I did not do a weather report for this game, but I think it's fine. Okay. Next game. And I actually am really excited about this game.
Okay.
The Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl in Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. Nice stadium. Did we go there? Title game was there, right?
I was not there yet.
Oh, well, you didn't miss much. That was the Clemson, Alabama game.
Yes.
One of them.
No.
There was 5 of them.
Clemson, Alabama. One was in Levi.
Yes. I wasn't there. Okay, so
Wake Forest versus Missouri.
You know what? I'm getting another beer. Hold on. Can I do that?
Can you tell me who's favored? Wake?
Wake is favored.
Okay.
Barely. Can I literally run? My fridge is right here.
Yes. Okay, why are you asking permission to just go?
I don't know. It's like in the middle of a fucking podcast.
A very professional podcast. Producer Matt, keep this in, because you can hear the sound of him opening his fridge.
How many other podcasts do that?
This is like a breaking the what do they call it, the fourth wall. I literally just said, Producer Matt, please keep that in, because you could hear you opening your fridge and like the beer's clanking in it.
It's a loaded fridge right now. Okay. Yes. Missouri.
Wake is favored by 3.5.
1 point.
1
point.
Oh, I'll take Wake. Chalk.
I like Missouri in this game, but you know what I really like in this game is the
What's
over.
the total?
59. So Wake has like a really good offense. Sam Hartman, by the way, this is his last game for Wake, which is interesting, I think. Like, hasn't said if he's going to the draft or transferring. How about Sam Hartman at Alabama? Oh, that'd be awesome.
That'd like buck the system.
I just want every quarterback to go to Alabama. Yeah.
You just want to know who's Alabama's quarterback.
I just want to know who.
Year.
Yeah. And he might be on the roster. But,
you want to know so you can make that future bet. Is really what you're saying.
Well, like that's it. I'm just trying to figure things out. So, if you want to ride Wake here, I will ride with you. I like the over. You want to ride Wake?
I'm going to take Wake here.
Okay.
It's my last gift to Sam Hartman.
That is true. You are like the allegiance here, pod allegiance, but your allegiance has been very strong to Mr. Hartman. Yes. All right, so we are in on Wake. We're going through these way faster this time. Not necessarily a bad thing.
Because I think we have more to get through today, maybe.
Yeah, we do. All right.
The Easy Post Hawaii Bowl.
Middle Tennessee versus San Diego State. Now, I got to talk about this game for a second, not the matchup. The matchup actually is pretty dreadful. We've been deprived of this bowl for 2 years in a row. We've lost this game to COVID 2 years in a row, and this is like one of my favorite games of the year.
Okay.
I've sung the praises of the Hawaii Bowl for like as long as I've been on Twitter. Christmas Eve is wonderful. Trash blowing around because it's really windy. Like it's tropical. There's like 25 people in the stands. It's just a great game. If
you are listening to this podcast, and you are, at home and you're not going anywhere for the rest of the day, drink anytime Adam makes a weather reference for a bowl pick going forward.
Poor people.
Okay, Middle Tennessee versus San Diego State on Christmas Eve. Is Middle Tennessee favored in this, or is it San Diego State?
It's San Diego State, but I'll be honest, you could have fooled me with this game. And it's actually not a small spread. It's not a huge spread, but it's not a small spread.
All right. Is it 7.5?
It's at 7. So pretty good. I like Middle Tennessee because I don't think San Diego State can score.
Yeah, I would go with Middle Tennessee.
I'm not doing this, by the way, because of the favorites to underdogs. Our favorite plan worked well.
It did.
We just got to roll with what we feel. San Diego State has no offense whatsoever. All right, so we don't have any bowl games on Christmas. There's a ton of NFL games on Christmas, I know, and Christmas Eve. So
and
Monday
games.
And NBA games, absolutely.
Boxing Day, December 26th.
Quick Lane Bowl. New Mexico State versus Bowling Green. In Detroit, it's in the Dome, so no weather report.
No weather report.
Good luck.
Is this a small spread?
It's smallish, yes.
Is it like 4.5?
It is 4. It is Bowling Green.
Bowling Green is favored?
By 4.
I actually like that. I will take Bowling Green.
I'm in.
-4.
I don't want to give this game any more time because it's really terrible. I mean, what time is this game at?
2:30 p.m. Eastern.
2:30. You want to talk about some stadium shots that are going to be hilarious? This one is one of them. Yeah, I'm in though. Okay, now is where shit starts to pick up, right? So now is like, we've got some pretty good bowl games already, and we love all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the day, I think, where it starts to turn the page right in the middle. The Camilla Bowl is Georgia Southern versus Buffalo in Montgomery, Alabama. It's a nooner. This is not where it picks up, by the way. This is not the game where I'm thinking things all of a sudden get great. But but it's still, I'm in. So what do you think the line is here?
I think Georgia Southern is favored.
Yes.
By 3.5.
Holy shit. Did you look?
No, I swear to God.
Such confidence with both of those picks that almost felt like
I cheated, but I swear.
No, that was unbelievable. I'm like, oh my God.
Is that right though?
Yes. Georgia Southern minus 3.5.
No, it's just I know football. I know.
But you tiptoed into the other ones, and this one you're like, what are these two teams?
Because as soon as I saw this matchup, I knew it was Georgia Southern, and I knew it wouldn't be a full touchdown, but I knew it was going to be more than a field goal.
I think Georgia Southern was built to be a 3.5-point favorite or dog in like every game they've ever played.
Yes, so that's why I think. But I will ride with Georgia Southern at 3.5.
I'm with you on this one.
All right.
I like Georgia Southern here. Okay, we are ripping through these. All right, good. So we've got the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl at Gerald J. Ford Stadium in Dallas. It is Memphis versus Utah State. This is, I think, okay, I will say this is where I think it starts to turn. This isn't a great game. Actually, Utah State was not great this year, but this is where I think it starts to get pretty good.
Is Memphis favored by 7?
7.5. You are on a fucking heater here.
I know.
All of a sudden ripping things off. All right, I'm
very confident in these ones because this is a little bit more like, okay, this is easy.
I like Memphis a lot. I think Utah State's terrible.
We can ride with Memphis. Look at us picking chalk again. But I'm also just like really enjoying, like, I'm sure people can hear me laughing. Just you after like a beer and a half after a full like Peloton ride. Just like trying to say these names, and I'm so glad I told you had to say the full ones.
I am. I know. Well, most of these are not horrible. Let's see, what do I have coming up? No, these are all small words. I can do all these. Okay, so we're on Memphis. Total is 61.5. I'd probably go over 2 there.
Okay.
But it's fine. Since we have to have conviction, we are on Memphis.
Yes.
Period. Okay, now, I like this game a lot. I'm not going to tell you which side. You're going to know because you know how I bet and you know where my allegiances are.
Yeah.
Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl, Coastal Carolina versus East Carolina.
Your allegiance is going to be with East Carolina, correct?
Hell yeah. Yes, it is.
Coastal is favored?
No, they're a dog. Decent sized dog, too. Well, they were horrible down the stretch. Those last 2 games, what was it? It was James Madison and what was the last game? They got their absolute ass kicked. But it wasn't good.
Is it East Carolina minus 12?
It's 7.5. Now it was higher, which is a little scary. I think it was 8.5.
Okay.
So here's the weird part about this game. Chadwell, the coach, has gone to Liberty, right? So they're without their coach, and people were wondering if they sucked because they knew that he was leaving. But McCall, the quarterback, is playing one more game. He's good.
And
he was injured.
He's transferring, correct?
He is. The buzz today was Florida, which would be
phenomenal.
Huge. Yeah,
also,
he's a good player.
No one fits Florida more than him.
I agree. No, that'd be great. So I like East Carolina. I don't know where your thoughts are on this game.
I will go with your allegiance and not make you go against your allegiance. I also think not having your coach does kind of hurt.
I agree here. East Carolina is fun. I've bet them like every game for 3 years. Okay, I can say right now that this game is a fucking mess, and I don't know what to do with it. The Guaranteed Rate Bowl, 10:15 Eastern Time start, by the way, on Tuesday the 27th. I am all for that. Wisconsin versus Oklahoma State.
So Oklahoma State should be favored.
They are not. Now, here
See, that's the thing is they should be based on like if you watched a football game this year, but Vegas goes Big Ten, goes Big Ten. But still, it doesn't matter. Like, people are just looking at this from like a Big Ten versus Big 12. So is Wisconsin favored by 3?
3.5. Pretty good. Both quarterbacks out. Mertz is out. Sanders is out. I think Braylon Allen is still in. By the way, I saw on Twitter he squatted 550 pounds the other day.
Jesus.
Not bad.
The weather here probably going to be nice, by the way. Phoenix, Arizona, Chase Field. They can close. I don't know what they'll do with the roof. They can keep it open or closed.
Wait, Chase Field is Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yep.
Oh, that's kind of strange. Is that normal? Like, I feel like when we do Arizona, we're in the Roomba Stadium where it's like 7 degrees inside there.
No, there's a bowl at Chase Field. There's one in obviously Yankee Stadium. They do a lot of Petco Park.
The Fenway game was amazing.
Fenway, Petco in San Diego.
Chase Field, which I've been to a couple of times, is awesome, by the way.
It is. It's wonderful. Imagine going from watching A's games in the Coliseum, for what you know of the Coliseum, and then going to Arizona, where they literally had just years. Yeah. I mean, it was relatively new after I moved there, and so it was really nice. Or just redone, I should say.
All right, so the total in this game is 43. So we're not thinking a lot of points. I don't have a strong feel on this game at all. I've tried. When you have Sanders out, it obviously did not go well.
I'm going to go...
starting a true freshman, I think Oklahoma State is.
I'm going to go Oklahoma State.
You were like anti-Big Ten from the jump with that. But that, you were like, yeah, Big Ten bullshit. Like, what the... And I'm in.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, people will go based on what they think of, like, what's on the helmet to set a line for bowl games when really, like... If we're looking at them both, but if you're looking at them full strength, then maybe it's different.
Oh yeah, no, Wisconsin was not good. Interim coach. I got it. Oh, I'm in. Oklahoma State plus 3.5.
Okay.
I have a strong take on this game.
Okay, we've made it to December 28th.
So are we going through the 29th?
We're going through the 29th, yes.
All right,
and
so
we'll give everyone the schedule update.
7 more bowls.
I know, I told you. You're like, we're flying. I'm like, yeah, good, because we've got a lot.
Well, yeah, this is why you're like in the beginning of the pod, you're like, dude, stop talking. We have like fucking 40 games to get to. Which I get now that I'm seeing. All right, this is a hugely fun day of bowls.
Yes.
So, Military Bowl, UCF versus Duke. You know, I got to give Duke some love.
Okay.
I don't like Duke in this game. I'm not telling you what the line is, but I don't like Duke. That was one of they were like Kansas, but they finished the year strong.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why we didn't talk about Duke more when you look at actually how they played. They were good.
Do you have a weather report on this though?
This feels like a weather game.
Because if it's cold, I mean, UCF probably not built to play in the cold. Maybe I'd take Duke. I'm sure UCF is favored.
UCF is getting 3
hold
points.
On. I was gonna guess.
Sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna take
weather.
Duke.
40. Oh man, 41 degrees.
I'm gonna take Duke.
All right, we have to align on this.
No, we can do our own.
No, but like that's not good pod synergy. But you're like strongly Duke.
I'm thinking more just as like a degenerate and value.
What about the total? 62.5. That could go over. You're just going to go Duke. You're going to go Duke?
Let's ride Duke.
The pod will ride Duke.
Okay. I'm probably going to regret that, but it's fine.
I have strong feelings about this. Okay.
This game is good. The AutoZone Liberty Bowl in Memphis, Tennessee, Kansas versus Arkansas.
Okay. First, the point spread, because this one surprised me a little bit.
Arkansas is favored?
Yes.
I'm sure it's small if it surprised you then. So I'm guessing Arkansas is only favored by 6.5?
3.
I was not going to commit to being that low because it should not be that low.
Okay, so I'm a contrarian bettor, as you know.
Yeah.
But KJ Jefferson is playing and like finally healthy. Arkansas, you've been through so much to get to this fucking game. Don't they just? I think Arkansas is going to win this game by double digits.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with Arkansas here.
This line
even if they have to play their backup quarterback there, he's still actually pretty good. So
the total in this game is, by the way, it's not the highest, but we've got a huge stretch of high totals coming up here. By the way, total is 69.
Nice.
So nice. Thank you for doing that, so I didn't have to. So, all right, we roll Arkansas. Period.
Yes.
Okay, so
what is this?
Moving on.
What is this sponsor? The SDCCU Holiday Bowl.
North Carolina versus Oregon. This line also interesting.
I think Oregon is favored.
By
hold on. Is Oregon favored by, I kind of feel like it's going to be a lot. So is it
whatever you're thinking it is, it's higher than that.
Really?
Yeah.
Higher than 10?
Yes.
Wow. Is it 12?
14 and a half.
No.
Yeah. It's a huge line. It was just at 14. I see it's at 14 and a half. The total in this game is 73 and a half. I was thinking about it because I've been like sizing this line up and like what to do.
What?
So in terms of quarterbacking, you could have the number 1 and number 2 quarterbacks next year.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm sorry.
Well, no. Yeah.
Wait. Sorry. Delete that.
Discretion.
Matt, don't let anyone ever hear those words. All right. So you have 2 potentially top 5 quarterbacks next year in this game, but super fun quarterbacks. I don't know what to do with this. I kind of like Oregon though.
14 and a half?
I think North Carolina, I've said it all year.
Crazy?
I think North Carolina is trash. I said it early on, and then I'm like, okay, maybe they're not. And they lost to like everyone. And they got their ass kicked by Clemson. And Oregon is better than Clemson.
14 and a half is a lot of points. I would take the under in North Carolina.
I kind of like the under.
Yeah.
This may be a pod bet. I don't know what the bet is. We have to be aligned on a bet. So let's be aligned on the under.
Okay, but we're making a bet on this game, like if something...
I will take Oregon minus 14 and a half.
Okay.
And you will take plus 14 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
We have to figure out what we're playing for. We have the national championship coming up. We're going to be like... How about... It's always alcohol related. That's so boring. How about the loser buys the other a national championship t-shirt at the merch stop? Like...
Yeah, but that's not funny for content purposes. I like good content.
I want a goddamn shirt, and this is going to
I did a mayo bath last year. I think the stakes need to be a bit higher. I'll buy you a shirt anyway for Christmas. How about that?
Well, that's not what I wanted. I wanted animosity. Okay.
I'm thinking, you know what? Let's have people send suggestions on this.
Yeah, because we could do it. It doesn't have to be in person. This isn't the Mayo Bowl. Otherwise, that would be hilarious. A run it back situation.
Yeah,
but
I mean, that was more for like overall betting on the year. But
let's not force it.
No, we have to. We're open to suggestions for this game, so we will take those. I will take UNC plus 14.5. You will take Oregon minus 14.
But we are taking the under as the pod.
We are taking the under. Under 72. Is that what you said?
Under is 73.5. That is a massive total.
That's a lot of points.
That is a massive total. All right, and they're still massive here. So we have another game. We are okay. This game is fun.
Yes.
The Tex Act Texas Bowl.
Texas Bowl.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Texas Tech versus Ole Miss.
Why are you letting me read these into the ground? You're just like, it's just...
I don't know, it's kind of fun.
Another huge total, by the way.
Yeah, this one, what's the total?
69.5.
You might as well take it. The over.
I would agree.
I think you gotta take the over. Hold on, Ole Miss is favored?
Yes, by not probably as much as you would think.
By 4.5?
3.5.
Okay.
Do we want to just ride the over?
I say we just ride the over on that one.
Could be a silly game. I'm in.
Could be a lot of fun. All right. You got this next one. You can do it.
Oh, this is up my alley in so many ways. The Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl in Yankee Stadium. So we have Syracuse and Minnesota. What an odd game. All of it. Baseball stadium, sponsor, teams playing, just odd.
Yes.
Oh,
huge for Syracuse fan or Syracuse alumni though that live in the city.
So this line has jumped. I'm not going to say to what, but I'm curious what has happened news-wise in this game. Pretty interesting.
I want to ask, is Syracuse favored?
No.
Exactly, because why? One plays in the Big Ten and the other plays in the ACC. We're doing this again. We're doing this again.
Yeah, but Syracuse is bad, too.
Was Minnesota ranked this year?
For a week. Well, so was Syracuse for 4. And then
that was my point. That was my point. Okay, is Minnesota favored by 7.5?
10. So this line was at 8 yesterday. And it's up to 10. The total is 42.
Yikes, because it's
I think this could go over though.
Yeah.
These offenses are competent. They're not great. I think Minnesota may win this game by 3 touchdowns. But
I will take Minnesota with you.
PJ Fleck?
Sure. Row the boat. Sky and go first.
Wow. Okay.
All right. The Cheez-It Bowl.
Iconic.
Question.
Oklahoma.
Do you
Yes.
Do you like Cheez-Its better than Goldfish?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't. I literally, my kids just had Cheez-Its. I don't mind Cheez-Its. I think Goldfish, though, are
superior.
It's
a snack
superior
that's
snack food. You ever do Goldfish with peanut butter?
What?
Cheddar Goldfish.
I think do they make the sandwiches?
Oh, do they? I don't know. Do you? So here's where I draw the line on Goldfish, though. Mm-hmm. They have the double cheddar. What are those called? There's the uber cheddar ones.
The Flavor Blast ones.
I can't do that. It's too much flavor.
Oh, I love those. I love all Cheez-Its, really.
My kids do too, but it's holy shit! It's a shot of tequila in the Goldfish form. It is intense. So
okay,
but Team Cheddar Goldfish, by the way, for the record.
Okay, I now am very curious about the peanut butter thing, so we're gonna have to try that. But Oklahoma versus Florida State at the Camping World Stadium in Orlando, Florida. Mm-hmm. Florida State is favored.
Yes.
By 7.
9.5.
Okay, these are getting huge.
65.5. I know the games are getting better and the lines are getting bigger. 65.5 is the total.
Okay. I don't want to touch the total. I
agree.
I think Florida State though will dominate this game. To be honest,
Oklahoma. It's hard to question motivation in a game, but hasn't Oklahoma just said farewell to this season? And also, they're bad.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Also, if you're looking for your off-season national champion, who are we going to hype up in the off-season? I've got a couple of teams for you, one of which we're going to talk about here momentarily. The other is Florida State. Florida State wins this game by 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
We're going to spend 6 months talking about
Florida State
being good, and they might be right.
Well, to be fair, the conference-wise, it makes it a lot easier.
Oh yeah. Now the other team we're going to be talking about is playing in this game, the Alamo Bowl, the Valero Alamo Bowl.
Yes.
Just so you can get your maximum enjoyment in on this. It is Texas and Washington. Now, The Alamo Bowl. Do you remember when RG3 played in this game and they scored like 90 points? It was Texas, and I think it was Baylor in Washington, and it was like I forget what year. And this game has like often produced very high scoring games, which this one could very well be, because the total, I'm not going to tell you the line, is 67.
67.
So no Bijan, obviously.
No Bijan. Washington is favored.
Yes. Oh, no. I'm sorry. No.
What?
No.
Okay, well, whatever the line is, I'm taking Washington.
+4.
Washington.
I'm kind of with you. It's scary, though.
No, it's going to be
Texas
Washington.
has just been getting so much odds maker love all year that...
That's just... That one's absurd to me.
I'm there. All right, so we are Washington.
If you watch Washington play Washington State, you certainly should take Washington.
Buddy, that was bad. Some of us bet Washington State was not good. All right, so there it is.
That's our complete bowl list. After that, we'll start with the 30th next time. We are going to have an episode come out the 30th, so not next Thursday, but next Friday.
Man, the 31st, Alabama, Kansas State, Iowa, Kentucky. I didn't plan that. They popped in there. TCU, Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia. That is fire. Iowa, Kentucky, like, what's a shitty appetizer that you're like, you know what? I'm not going to eat that, so I save room for my steak. It's like...
The problem is it's going to be like chips and salsa where we overindulge on it because it's so bad.
If you eat too much Iowa, Kentucky, that's going
to be a Twitter frenzy. People are really going to enjoy that. That's for us, like... degenerate. Yeah, it really is.
All right, I'm not going to say the spread, but what is the total on that? Because we were approaching, it's at 31. 31.
31. Yikes.
We just talked about a game that had a total at 73.5? It's a different sport. Oh, it's so bad. But I am looking forward to it. And we have got, like this is where you start to hit the flow of bowl season. But I have enjoyed this immensely. Let's see if how my over bet that I didn't bet was looking. Have you been betting at all?
No, sorry. Live announcement. Baby was just born in my family. Yay.
Oh, congratulations.
I know. That's so exciting.
No, that is a boy or girl?
Boy. His name is Tucker.
Tucker.
Welcome to the world.
Welcome to the world. No better way to come into the world than being talked about sports betting. And by the way, the score in this game right now, speaking of, is 13-2. That is just not a score you see often. A 13-2 score?
No, that's very odd.
All right, before we wrap, we kept this one on the rails. 50 minutes.
We still got plenty. We're not done yet. I know we've got, you want to talk about your weather?
Yeah, so we're supposed to get thank you. We're supposed to get snow. Now, here's what they do. Here, Paige, you never lived in the cities. They start the snow fear comes 6 days out. They're like, they won't commit to a total.
Okay.
But they're talking about significant snow events, right? They use these terms. And then they start honing in. So we were supposed to get 16 inches of snow. Now they're saying 5. So, but it did prompt okay, what are the proper blizzard or cold measures? We had a situation a couple of years ago. The high one day was -17 degrees. That was the high one day. It was record cold. It sounded like my roof was falling apart. The trick is very simple. Stock up on wine, right? That's first and foremost. That's key. If it's cold, it's wine. And you have to manage your grocery store visits. You got to be timely. Now, my wife's move. She loves this. She'll go at 10 o'clock at night. Target is open late here, and pick the shelves clean. So you've got to manage, because it is madness here. People still thinking a blizzard is coming.
I think it's so funny that not funny, but I just think it's I've never lived in a world where I had to worry about what the weather's going to be like when I go to the grocery store. That's never been a thing. But what do you do with small children cooped up in a house?
Oh, it's
do you guys?
fucked up.
Yeah, I feel like that's the part that seems like it would be kind of a... I mean, your wife, though, I feel like would be good with the activities. Like, she would have the activities for them to do.
So, I'm not going to point my camera because I'll fuck something up. About 6 feet from me is a deflated bounce house.
That's right. I did.
So
you have
over
shown
my
me that
shoulders, I have 3 TVs, right? I've got a great setup down here that I think is mine.
Mm-hmm.
It is most certainly not mine. At any point, this will be taken apart for bounce houses and Nerf guns. And I'm okay with that. The other night, though, it was probably 10 degrees out. My 2 oldest kids stayed outside for, I don't know, a half hour. It was a little weird. I kept checking, like, hey, are we good? Is everyone
Can you feel
alive?
Everyone,
And they came in, little hot chocolate, and then, boom.
Oh, that's so Christmassy, though.
You know what
so
else?
cute.
Can I rant about hot chocolate for a sec?
Oh, no. Do you not like it?
Oh, no, I do like it. My youngest does not, which is a little strange. She's like, no, I don't want any. I'd like some apple juice. I'm like, what? Like, what? Who are you? Whose son are you? Getting the appropriate temp on hot chocolate.
That's a hard one. Are you guys making like authentic hot chocolate? Like, are you putting the milk on the stove? Like, or are you doing like? Do you have a Keurig?
I do have a Keurig.
They have the cups for them.
Okay, so we did those, except those were so goddamn hot.
They were.
The kids were like,
oh. So also, I weirdly enough, like probably 2 weekends ago, 3 weekends ago, maybe it's championship weekend. Championship weekend, I was making hot chocolate and I put like the peppermint coffee creamer in it. And so that probably cooled it down. And then putting whipped cream and marshmallows on it.
So I did so the microwave I can never get right. Also, we have like a giant cup for 3 kids. So it's like everything is harder. So I did not boiled some water, but like that way. By the time
you went and got it out of the well,
transactions go, it's cold. It's agonizing.
It is hard, especially because you don't want them to burn their tongues because then it's traumatizing.
Oh no!
Like it's hard enough as an adult not to burn your own tongue on coffee or anything like that.
The Keurig was like too hot? Scarring experience. Yeah.
Okay, that's a bummer because mine was not too hot, but maybe it's because I put stuff in it that was colder. Maybe try like whipped cream on top, let the whipped cream melt a little.
We did do that.
Because don't do the ice cubes. That's just unacceptable.
That's horrible. We went to go see Santa the other day. We had brunch with Santa. You know what? It was great.
Does everyone like Santa in your house?
My youngest Cam was a little at first
skeptical?
like sizing him up, but then like went up to him and like told him everything he wanted. Mm-hmm. I don't think Santa could understand him, but Santa was very like, "Yep, like wow."
Yeah.
Like this kid's still going. Like, please, like we have other kids in line. But he was we had a good time. It was really nice.
I do want to ask, there is a tradition that you have amongst your Twitter following. Mm-hmm. It's that time of year to tweet your pictures of toys you are putting together and ask Adam how many beers. It's my favorite tradition, so please tag me in it as well now because I want to see the answers to this and all the things you're putting together.
So I had a really funny one last night, and I'm trying to find it. God damn, it's 13-9. Should have bet the over. Here's one. My son is 18. All he wants is cash. Can I still drink beer? This is from Scott on Twitter. The answer is sure. But what was funny last night, someone tagged me with like a huge dollhouse, and it was the first how many beers of the season. And it was hilarious. And so literally at like 1 a.m, she responded, 4 hours and 8 beers between us, her and her husband. So
4 hours?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, those things are crazy. I've done that.
Have you seen the video of the Barbie dream house being delivered? And it's on the side of the box and the dad and the daughter come home and she's like, oh my God.
I did.
So happy.
He's like, no.
He's like, don't look at that. That's like a parent's worst nightmare. And also, you know what? I actually have a bone to pick with like the box industry, period. I've had 3 gifts come with not only the name on the outside of where it's from, but also like a picture on the outside too of one.
I know. I agree.
Stop doing that. Stop doing that at Christmas. You can do it all year round. All year round, I don't care. You can put your logo on the outside of the packaging. I do not care. Do not do it at Christmas. You're ruining Christmas.
We got we started wrapping presents last night, which I always think is going to be more enjoyable than it is. I like
it's the worst. It's the one thing about Christmas that I really don't care for because I'm really bad at it, and I want to be good at it. But I also live with Mrs. Claus. Like, my mom is legitimately Mrs. Claus. Like, she does her own. My mom is too. She does, like, her own hand-tied bows with ribbon.
Oh, same here.
Yep. And it is all... Well, we should post pictures of them because it is... It's embarrassing. So, basically, I wrap my gifts and then I give them to her to put bows on them because I'm embarrassed that I can't do it. She's trying to teach me and I just am not. I'm not.
But she's so good, too, that, like, no one can unwrap the presents. Like, the kids are like, can you cut this, please? Yeah.
Does she tape boxes?
Oh, yeah, she'll do...
My grandma tapes boxes, and that's I hate that.
So we did a lot of wrapping last night, and so it's interesting, too, to see with kids. So I have an 8-year-old, I have a 6-year-old, and a 3-year-old. And Cam, there's still big boxes for the 3-year-old, like a racetrack, like... But the older you get, and now with my daughter, there's some Legos. It's hilarious. It's like, oh my God, she doesn't have any stuff.
And they look at that. They're like sizing it up, and you're like, no. It's
like, yeah, but this thing here costs $100.
Well, that's the tough part. As you get older, your stuff costs a lot more. Yeah, I love Christmas. I'm so excited for Christmas.
Me too.
But yeah, we will be back after Christmas. But send us your how many beers and that you followed us so we can give you municipal for Christmas.
Yes, municipal.
You would think that I had beers.
No, but it's good. Hopefully you do. Yeah, this is a great week. I hope everybody. The weather does sound like it's going to be shitty, so everybody be safe however you prepare and travel. Be careful. Enjoy your families. Enjoy the bowl games.
Enjoy the bowl games.
Great. I'm gonna go.
Watch the bowl game.
I'm going to get a bet on this game. Now I've got, I sat out. I've got envy here.
Yeah, you did. I'm sorry that I interrupted your betting by talking.
No, I should have. By doing the podcast. You're sorry that you... But it's 13-9 with 3 minutes left in the first. That's an over.
You go do you.
Over. God damn it.
You go do you.
All right. With that, Paige, cheers. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate.
We will talk to you guys next week.